Hey guys, it's John and Morgan with Long Haul Lifesavers, where we cover anything from travel nursing to RV living. And today, we want to talk to you about what to look for when buying a new RV.
Start the video. So if you've been watching our previous videos, we recently did a bunch of modifications to our current RV, which is the 2017 Vanley Volano 365 RL. We absolutely love our RV for full-time living. The only thing is our lifestyle has changed a little bit. One of the biggest things is starting a YouTube channel. So we were kind of going back and forth about going to look at other RVs to see if there'd be a better floor plan, kind of give us an office space, because I don't like using like our eating area as our office area and everything all combined as one thing. So that started us down the rabbit hole of looking at RVs again, and which we go and always do every, I don't know, maybe what, 6 months?
Yeah.
We just go and we like to look and see what companies are kind of changing or doing differently. And
so what that resulted in is we really didn't find any RV that worked best for us as far as a floor plan goes, and still keeping the quality that we have right now. Now that went into doing the renovations to make this more livable and feasible for what we have right now. But while we were looking at some of these RVs, we realized that after being in an RV for 4 or 5 years, it's really given us a different perspective on what to look for when we're going to buy an RV. So we thought this may benefit you guys, so you don't make some of the same mistakes that we did when we bought our very first one.
Yeah, which our first one, it was a weekend warrior, not a full-time RV.
Even though the dealership said it was a full-time. Granted, we were newbies and didn't know.
But that's the number one thing when going to look for a new RV is do your research, because, and don't call me out on this, I know some of them are good, but 99% of your salesmen and women that are selling these just care about the numbers. They know nothing about RVs. They've probably never even been camping in an RV or lived in an RV or pulled an RV. So they will pretty much tell you anything you want to hear just to get the sale.
We want to make it known before we really get in depth in this that what we're going to review today is mostly looking at an RV for full-time living. We're not really going to cover a whole lot for the weekend warrior.
I mean, there'll be some stuff.
Some stuff is going to translate into it, but when you're going to a full-time living situation, you're going to look a lot more in depth at what that RV has and how it's constructed. So, just a little disclaimer. So, what we would say first is really, if you're going to go into full-time living, you want to see what that manufacturer has to say about full-time living. So, there are some manufacturers that if they find out you're living in your RV full-time, your warranty is voided. And just because it says Arctic package or 365 season package
or year round,
that means that that trailer can be used year round, but their warranty may not cover for you living in it full time. So just do a little bit of research on the manufacturers that you're looking at to make sure you can live in it full time without losing your warranty.
Yeah, and to clarify what he just said, used year round, so meaning like I use it once every month year round. So it can be used in any climate. You just can't actually live every day in it. So the second really important thing is ask yourself, what type of full-time RVer are you going to be? Are you going to move once a year as a snowbird? Are you going to move every month, every week? So that'll also kind of dictate on what's more important to you, outdoor storage, indoor storage, layout of things.
It depends on what climate you're going to go to as well, because that's going to dictate the insulation, how thick the insulation, how many ACs, heated underbelly, that kind of stuff. So, and you also want to look at how many people you're going to be traveling with. So if you are going to be traveling with kids, most likely you're going to look at getting a bunkhouse
or a toy hauler.
That's going to narrow down some of the manufacturers, because the floor plan you may want may not be offered by some of the manufacturers, so it can narrow down your search. When we got out of our first RV and started to look for another RV, we realized that we didn't know what type of climate we were going to end up in. We've done Phoenix in the summer, and we've done the northern states in the winter.
Mountains and snow in the winter.
Yeah, so we wanted to make sure that we kind of had the best of both worlds. We wanted us something that would keep us cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So we ended up getting 3 ACs because our last one had 2 ACs and it just couldn't keep up. We also look for a high BTU furnace. So we have a 4,000 BTU furnace in this. 40,000, sorry. And we also have a heat pump in one of our ACs.
And a fireplace.
And a fireplace. So we're able to stay warm. This also has a sealed underbelly and heated tanks. So you can fill the freshwater tank and turn the heated tank on, and then you can actually feel the warmth on the floor from the water heating up in there.
In addition to everything he just said, we also look for quality of construction in the frame, the walls, and the flooring. So we look for the aluminum floor trusses, and then the aluminum studded walls, and the one-piece fiberglass construction on the sidewalls and the rear and the end cap. Our previous RV had the laminate backing on the exterior walls, and within the first 3 months of purchasing the unit, it was already delaminating, which, if you don't know what that is, that's where you see RVs that have bubbles on the outside of them. So for full-time use, we try to always look for high-quality things like what I just talked about and what he just talked about, and it will help preserve the overall exterior and interior of the unit for all the years you own it.
The higher wall quality too comes along with a higher insulation. So our walls are 3-inch thick and they're spray foam insulation, so the gap in between our wall and where the fiberglass on the outside is full of insulation. Now there are some companies that don't do a full wall insulation, so you'll have an air gap there. Like if you push on the wall, it'll kind of bubble and push in. That means it's not full insulation. It's an added quality. And
an example of what he's talking about from our first RV to the one we're in now, our old one, I could put my hand on the wall inside and feel the heat, like feel the sun on the inside. In this one, I can put my hand on the wall and it's the same temperature as the inside of the RV. So you're not feeling that external heat, even if the sun's still baking right on it. So a big difference in insulation quality.
So as far as construction goes, we look for a few more things. Particularly, I look at the outside for exterior storage. I have a lot of tools, hunting equipment, snowboards, that kind of stuff, camping gear. So we need to have a place to store all that. So we need a pretty decent amount of storage that I like to have climate controlled.
But if you aren't carrying all your duck decoys and snowboards like some people, you might not need all that storage. So just make sure you walk around and check out the exterior storage. I know when we were just looking a couple weeks ago at the RVs, one of the salesmen was trying to convince us that the most important thing to have was a TV outdoors. And I tried to explain to him, look, ours had a TV outdoors. We removed it because we don't need a TV outdoors. We need storage. So when you live in it, things like those extra amenities, they're really not useful. You want to look at what's useful space.
It'd be great for a weekend warrior if you're just going out camping for the weekend. You don't need to haul around a bunch of stuff. It's perfect. But for us, it just didn't work.
Another thing construction-wise, we talked about having 3 ACs. So if you're going to be full-time, we highly recommend a minimum of 2 ACs.
Yes.
Depending on how long you are, definitely think about that 3rd AC. So make sure too that you're able to run all 3 ACs at the same time, because some of the units do not allow that. They don't have a power management system for it. But in the event that you can still only run 2, having that 3rd is always nice as a backup, because God forbid one AC broke, you at least have another one already on the roof. So in our first RV, we had the normal
Coleman.
Dometic RV air conditioner, which, okay, yeah, great, it did what it was supposed to do. I didn't ever realize how annoying it was until we moved into our new RV. We have the whisper quiet system where it's all vented. You don't have that great big living room vent that's just blowing air, and you can't hear the TV because it's so loud. So it's a nice quiet system. It's kind of like living in a house type of air conditioner. I mean, you hear it a little bit when they kick on, but you don't hear it all day long.
All the duct work is ran through the ceiling, so there's really no, it's just the normal vents that you would see in your house, like a return, so there's no big huge panels or anything like that, and it's easier to control and keep your temperature set. Because it can run on multiple thermostats as well.
This is not a must-have. This is just something that we noticed having both options. We definitely would never own anything other than the whisper quiet again, just because how you get rid of all that buzz. There's no noise. The last one that I want to bring up, because this is my big thing, is, and I understand everybody's different about this, I like having windows, but I only like having windows on my camp side of the RV. So the camp side of the RV is where your front door would be. I don't like any windows on the utility side, the side that you plug all of your water hose and everything into. The reason that I don't like having any windows on that side is because normally that is where your neighbor's front door is, number one. So every time they open their front door, they're looking in your window. Number two, I always try to get an RV site with the utility side of our RV facing west. So that way all day the sun is hitting that side. It's not hitting our windows all day long. And that actually helps with heat drastically. Yeah. I mean, 20, 30 degrees difference. You know, we've had a lot of friends that they're like, we don't understand how you keep your RV so cool. Well, they always pick sites where the sun is beating in on their windows.
On the flip side to that, in the winter, we try to put our windows on the sunny side,
on the west side.
So that way we don't have to heat it up as much in here.
Yeah.
The other thing we look for is a separate wet bay. So a wet bay is where you plug in your hose, and that's normally where your handles are for your to release your sewer gates.
Yeah, and your outdoor shower.
Yeah. So the reason we like to have that in a separate area is because if for some reason that was to leak or your hose was to bust, if it's not separate, now your whole underbelly storage is getting sprayed with water, whereas if it's a separate unit, if it was to bust, it's all contained within that unit, so nothing else is getting wet. None of your belongings are getting soaked by that busted hose. So after we've looked at the construction and the build quality of the RV, we move to the inside, and what I look for most is hardwood counters, or not countertops, but cabinets. We've seen a lot of them where you go to open a door for a cabinet and it flexes and bends, and I just don't like that. It feels cheap to me. I don't like it. So
we went and looked at one time, and he opened it, and the whole cabinet door just came right off.
Broke it. So, yeah. Well, there was the one I pulled, and it flexed so much it split in half.
Yeah.
And those are just particle board, and they don't hold up very well. When you think about it, when you're driving down the road in one of these, it's a small earthquake for 6 or 8 hours or however long you're driving. And if you have that thin, inexpensive particle board, that's going to break down over time. And screws don't really hold well into that. And you can have the cabinet doors just fall right off.
Yeah. Well, and it's a little different too. Even having particle board things in the house versus an RV. So in a house, you're not bouncing like he just said. You don't have as big of a risk as a pipe coming loose on the road and flooding your whole RV. I saw somebody the other day that left their water pump on and forgot about it and drove, and the handle on their sink came and it flooded the whole RV. So anytime you're gonna have water like that, a particle board, I mean, it's just gonna soak it instantly. So with hardwood, you've got a little bit more of a chance to get to your destination and get it cleaned up. So to add to his hardwood,
what the hell?
No. Hold on.
That's what she said.
To add to the hardwood cabinets, something I look for is usable cabinet storage. So some RVs you go into, they give you this 3-foot long cabinet, you open it up and there's not a single shelf in it. What are you supposed to do?
Or it's 2 inches deep.
Or yeah, it's 2 inches deep. What are you supposed to do with it? So make sure you open the cabinets and look to see, is a plate gonna fit? Are your glasses gonna fit? You know, can you have multiple shelves? Will it support the weight? That type of things. And then I also look in the drawers to look at the bottom, because sometimes they'll give you a nice wood drawer, but then a cardboard bottom. So the moment you go down the road, you know, your bottom of the drawer falls out. I also check the glides on the drawers and find out what those are rated for weight-wise as well, especially in the pantries, things like that, because, you know, you want to be able to travel with some food in your RV. So weight is very important, that it needs to be able to hold that.
The other thing we look for is we prefer residential appliances. So like our fridge is a Samsung fridge. And then our convection oven / microwave is residential as well. So we try to go as residential as we can. I know some people prefer the normal propane LP fridges, and that's a matter of preference. We just know we've had both the LP fridge and we've had a residential fridge, and we vastly prefer the residential. Part of the renovations that we're going to do is we are going to put in a dishwasher as well. So that'll be coming too. And we are going to go with a residential dishwasher as well.
In addition to the appliances, we have a washer and dryer. You don't have to have a washer and dryer, but if you are gonna buy a new full-time unit, I would highly recommend buying one that has washer dryer hookup, so that in the event someday you do decide, I'm really sick of laundromats, I'm gonna get a washer and dryer, you always have the option.
The other thing we look for is, I'm a relatively big guy, fat joke, yes, but I like a shower that I can actually move around in. I have wide shoulders, and I don't like to have to turn sideways or wash my hair like this. So I like a large shower.
So let me rephrase this. Ladies, tell your guy, when you're walking around looking at RVs, make him get into that shower and put his hands up and pretend like he is taking a shower, because there are some of these that, you look at the whole floor plan, you're like, wow, this is great. And then you go in there and see that shower. There's no way.
Or there's some you can't even sit on the toilet.
Yeah, and shut your door. So
make sure you test out everything that you're going to be using. You want to test out, don't take a crap, but sit on the toilet and test out the shower and everything you're going to use.
Make sure you got elbow room and knee room and everything like that.
Speaking of toilets.
This is a big one for him.
Yes, big one for me. I have to have a porcelain toilet. Our old one was not. It was the plastic, and I think I sat on that maybe twice until it cracked.
He would go to the gas station down the road to use the bathroom.
Just use the bathroom.
Because he refused to sit on the plastic toilet.
Yeah.
Partly because they are cheaply made, and if you put any amount of weight on them, you run the risk of cracking them, one. And two, they are really hot and sticky.
So we do have kind of a ranking system based on kind of budgets that we'll list out that we've walked through. And we think they're of good quality. They have a lot of the features that we've spoken about today. So these are some of the ones that we would purchase for these certain price ranges.
And of course, this is our opinion only. Yep. We are not paid to say this by anybody. Yep. Like he said, we've gone to the shows and to the dealerships, and we walk through all these different brands, and we always come back to the same couple. So,
So for our first price range, it's roughly, depending on how fancy you go, $200,000 to $100,000. And the three top companies we would recommend is the one that we're in, which is a Van Lee. And they have both the Volano and the Beacon, which are good quality. The Beacon is slightly higher than the Volano. We would also recommend a DRV, which is the Mobile Suites and Elite Suites. Both of those are excellent quality. Elite is a little higher than the Mobile Suites. And then we would also recommend the Luxe. Now the Luxe is, they don't have like an Elite or a Mobile, it's just a Luxe. But they are good quality as well, and they have a lot of the same features that ours does.
Right. So those are going to be your higher end with all, multiple ACs, the insulation, the residential appliances, all things like that.
Yeah, it's more like going into a home.
Right.
So for our next price range, we would say this one is anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000. And the ones that we recommend for this would be
the KZ Gold Durango.
Yeah.
Or Durango Gold.
Durango Gold, I believe.
Yeah. Yep. We've known about this one. They're actually manufactured very close to where we are from. So we've known about them, but we've never really had any experience with them. And we just went a month ago and toured a bunch of them, and we were pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. You really get a lot for your money in one of those.
Yes, a lot for your money. The quality was not as high as ours, but in comparison to all the other manufacturers that we had been walking through, it was light years ahead.
When you look at the price difference between the two, it's very good. Honestly, if we weren't already in this,
we would have gone. We would have
probably gone with for what the money is.
Yeah, so. Very impressed.
Our next price range would be from $50,000 to $75,000.
They're up a little bit more than that.
Montana.
Yeah, they're like 83, 84. Yeah. That's the other thing.
It's really not worth it, though.
No, they're not worth it. And
so we're going Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3.
Yeah.
Tier 3 would be the Keystone Montana or the Grand Design Solitude.
Yep.
Now, depending on what dealership you're going to go to, like she said, you can be in the $80,000, but really they should be in the $50,000 range because you're not getting a whole lot for your money. You're getting particle board, cabinetry.
Some of them, I mean, now they do offer, in a lot of the models, they do offer the residential appliances.
Yeah.
They are, I think they're pre-wiring now on all of them for a third AC. I don't think they come standard.
But they don't have the added ductwork for it.
So look for things like that. But, you know, so we want to make sure that we're trying to help any budget, whether or not you're buying new or used. But those are really kind of the ones that we would stick to for full-time living. Yeah. You know, again, that the company that's going to stand behind you, that's the most important thing for finding full-time living.
All the companies that we listed previously, from the research that we've done, said that if you're living in it full-time, you were still able to keep your warranty besides Keystone. They didn't really give us a solid answer on that. It was kind of wishy-washy, so
yeah,
you're rolling the dice with that one.
But we've had a lot of friends that live in Montana's, and they just don't tell them that they live full-time, and they still get their warranty work done. So again, it's just...
It's how you play it.
Right. So again, this is all our opinion from what we have witnessed over the last 5 years of living full-time in an RV, what we have seen going to the shows and dealerships, what we've seen our friends deal with in their RVs. So again, it's just our personal experience. Now, we understand every manufacturer is gonna have its problems. Every RV is gonna have something wrong with it. So please don't run with what we said as gospel. You know, do your own research. But we're just trying to help people look for things that like we did not know to look for when we first started. Anything else to add to that?
Nope. I think that's good.
All right.
So that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them below and we'll do our best to answer them. Until then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and head on over to Instagram. Follow us at Long Haul Lifesavers. See you guys.
Bye.